Yesterday, I used a viral clip of Sydney Sweeney crying on a live stream to talk about the concept of white woman tears and how white women will perform in a certain way in order to excuse the harm that they have done, to infantilize themselves, to play damsel in distress, to try to avoid accountability, and also to try and get protection from men in a white supremacist patriarchal system. I used that video clip because it was going viral all over social media, and the claim was that it was in response to that jeans ad. But I found out after I made that video that I got duped. It's an older video that she made crying on a live stream in response to fans being mean, I guess, about a character she played on Euphoria. And I don't know if it was her act. I don't know what it was. But I still want to post the whole video, because whether or not it is a direct reply to what happened with the jeans ad, every critique I had in that video is still entirely valid. But I just wanted to make sure that before you watch that video, you understand that the clip I am replying to is older than I thought it was, older than was being presented on social media. And I should have done better due diligence beforehand, and that's my bad. But actually, it still is a really good launching off point to discuss all of the topics that I go on to talk about in the video. So I want to show it for you here, but I just wanted to have this clarification put at the beginning of that video. So hope you enjoy it.
You can't read things and you shouldn't read things, but I'm a fucking person. I'm just sitting here with my dog Tank watching HGTV wearing my Snuggie. I don't know. People need to be nicer on social media because it's really fucked up.
Well, if it isn't a subject I have covered extensively in the past, white woman tears. Let's talk about it, Sydney. You said it's really important for people to see how words actually affect people. You mean like your words in your multi-million-dollar ad campaign promoting eugenics? Those words, were those the words that you were speaking about? You, a wealthy, powerful person with a large platform who chose to make money, run an ad campaign that was based on white supremacy, that was not just a dog whistle to white supremacy. It was shouting from the hilltops, yay, white supremacy is en vogue. We think it's going to sell blue jeans. These words.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
Sydney Sweeney has very keen.
Those words, are those the words that you were referencing that have an impact on people, that can harm people? Girl, you got your feelings hurt because people were mocking you for saying offspring and speaking in an entirely fake constructed accent that's absolutely nothing like where you are from, Spokane, Idaho. I mean, speaking of Idaho, I guess all of your family are Trumpers, so you deciding to do a eugenicist, white supremacist ad campaign, that tracks. I mean, we could also talk about how you went to Jeff Bezos's wedding, so we all know what kind of person you are. We judge people by their actions, not just their words. This is a classic demonstration of white woman tears. I know I've talked extensively in the past about conservative women and how prone they are to using fake feminine dialect, and not only that, altering their natural cadence and voice in order to appear softer and more demure and more acceptable to men. Women intentionally infantilize themselves through their speech in order to appear sexier, but also more helpless and deserving of protection from men who are in power. And we can absolutely see that in the way that Sydney Sweeney has chosen to artificially craft her speech. And I'm going to go ahead and say it, whether it is Michelle Duggar using the baby voice, the keep sweet voice, or Sydney Sweeney in whatever construction this is, if I see a woman speaking like that, I automatically know where she falls on the political spectrum. I automatically know that she is using her position in society, her white privilege, to attempt to cozy up to white men and gain some measure of protection. Women do not alter their voices like that unless they are conditioned by the patriarchy, and they have found that it benefits them to fill the role that men expect. It's fucking fake. That's why I don't talk like that. I use my real voice. I refuse to perform feminine dialect, and it often pisses off conservative women who don't understand why it is that I am exempt from having to talk like them, why I can speak my mind, I can swear, I don't artificially soften and raise my voice so that it's inoffensive to men, so that I perform as if I am weaker, as if I am somehow more passive. Why do I like not have to play by those rules and they do. Well, girlfriend, you don't have to be mad at me. You don't have to play by those rules either. You can speak in your natural voice too. You can be authoritative and direct in your speech too. You don't have to be passive aggressive. You don't have to use a baby voice. You don't have to define yourself entirely by either trying to play innocent and fragile and needing to be protected, or sexually appealing to men and needing to be provocative and sensual in the way you speak. We don't really speak like that unless we are conditioned to by the patriarchy. So when people were making fun of Sydney Sweeney, it's because she sounds ridiculous, and also because she's play acting and it's incredibly obvious what she's doing. Now, not only do we see white women under patriarchy changing their voice and the way that they speak and their body posture and the way that they clothe themselves to be more acceptable to men, because they think that performing that way means that men will protect them. Because we know in a patriarchal system, all of us as women are oppressed. It's just that white women understand that our system is not solely based on patriarchy, right? It's that trifecta that I talk about that's fucking everybody in America. It is capitalism, the patriarchy, and white supremacy. And in that system, white women can gain a tremendous amount of power, comfort, security, profit by leaning into the ways that we are privileged under capitalism and white supremacy. We understand that we are oppressed under patriarchy, but if we can try and utilize these two, then we can make sure that our lives are more comfortable and secure. Instead of standing up to all three of these, instead of working for liberation for all people from all three of these, no. We're going to leverage these two systems of oppression so that the patriarchy doesn't fuck us quite as hard. This is what women of color mean when they say that white feminism is not trustworthy. White women are not trustworthy because we will throw vulnerable people under the bus, either economically disenfranchised people, people of color under the bus, to secure for ourselves a measure of comfort under the patriarchy. And that is exactly what Sydney Sweeney is doing. She thinks she can profit under a system of white supremacy. She thinks she can play a role to make herself socially acceptable to men under the patriarchy. And I don't know whether she's a eugenicist or a white supremacist or not. Again, Spokane, Idaho. Idaho is like a breeding ground for white supremacy. It is the center of white supremacy for the United States, and that's where Sydney's from. And again, her family are all Trumpers, but I never want to judge somebody just by their family because my cousins in Indiana are Trumpers. I don't have any contact with them. But what we see here in this clip that was Sydney Sweeney on a live feed, sobbing about how her fifis are so hurt because everybody's so mean. Girl, most of the content I have seen is people either making fun of your fake voice or angry at you for using your power and your platform to support white supremacy. You are profiting off of white supremacy. And now you get on here with a sob story and act like you're ignorant of all that, and everybody's just so mean and they're bullying you and your feelings are hurt. That is white woman tears. That is the epitome of white woman tears. White women under the patriarchy are conditioned to turn on the waterworks to get men to step in and protect them. In the South, that has resulted in black men being lynched and killed so many times over because white women know that when white men are angry, they often turn their rage onto women. But if you work on the white woman tears, then you can get men to deflect their rage off of you and onto people of color. You can take the attention off of yourself, or you can get the men in power to rally to defend you and to take their violence out, their propensity for brutality out on marginalized people. That is what white woman tears is. Sydney Sweeney, you are not being threatened. Your safety is not threatened. You got your feelings hurt because you got called out for doing a shitty thing. But you are the one with the power who chose to make an ad campaign normalizing eugenics, something that actively has the potential to hurt people of color, disabled people. Promoting eugenics can get people fucking killed, and you got your feelings hurt, but you're the one turning on the waterworks, wanting all of us to be sorry for you, wanting all of us to take back what we said in our valid criticisms of your shitty choice to do this ad campaign. You are putting your fragile feelings first. You are wanting the system to protect you, a privileged white woman within that system. And you are using your tears to do it. It is the very definition of white woman tears. It is a shitty display of the patriarchy for everybody to see. But of course, that is on brand for you. You just did a whole ad that was a shitty display of white supremacy for everybody to see. So of course, now you're going to go ahead and leverage your position as a privileged white woman to try and get men within that system who have power to come to your defense. Of course, you would not apologize for the ad. Obviously, there were so many layers, so many eyes on that ad campaign that went into every layer of that production. You and other people, your agents, all of those people at the ad agency at American Eagle, they rubber stamped that. They green lighted that campaign. Y'all knew what you were doing. And I guess you thought it was going to go over better than it did. I guess you thought more people would think that it was cute and adorable. It would be more socially acceptable than it was. And now you're facing the consequences of your actions because people are ridiculing you and people are lobbing absolutely appropriate criticism of you. And you don't like it. So you're going to center your feelings and you're going to make everybody who criticized you look like a big meanie because they made a white woman cry. Honestly, like, get fucked. You're super wealthy. You have a massive platform. And at this period in history, with the rise of authoritarianism and white supremacy in this country, you chose to profit off that system and promote it. I have zero fucking sympathy for you. You are a pillar of support under fascism. You are profiting off of fascism. So